Brian, I'm going to Disneyland. Where the heck should I stay?
You know what, Jacob? I'm glad you asked. I'm about to tell you. What's up, adventurers? Welcome to RTD Adventures. My name is Brian,
I'm Jacob.
and we are here to talk about everything that you need to consider when choosing the right place to stay when you visit Disneyland. Now, the first question that we've got for you is how much walking are you willing to do? Now, if you're wanting to do a lot in the theme parks, that means visiting all the different areas of Disneyland. That means doing ride to ride and trying to cram it as much as you can. You're going to be doing a lot of walking, 7 to 10 miles.
That's a lot.
And when you're choosing a hotel, you need to figure out how much extra walking you're going to be doing before you even get to the parks. This is all going to add up, and this is something that you need to be sure that you're considering when you're figuring out how far your hotel is from Disneyland.
Now, beware of hotels that are listed as within walking distance to Disneyland or within a block. A block in this area in Anaheim around these hotels, it can be over a mile. So just keep that in mind. Don't use that. I would say use Google Maps to find out the exact distance of your hotel to the park.
Now, if you're looking for something that's just close to the park, the few hotels that are the absolute closest are going to be the Disney-owned resort hotels. Some of them even have park entrances right into the parks themselves.
There's a few perks to staying at the Disney resort hotels. One of them being you're very close to the entrances, to the parks, but then also to the monorail entrances that go straight into the parks. Another perk to staying at these Disney resorts is early entry, which means you get into the park a half hour before everyone else does, which means you'll be passing by a huge crowd that's waiting behind a rope as you wave at them.
And in these resort hotels, you've actually got characters that are going to be walking around in the lobbies and on the park grounds. When you're staying at any of those hotels, if you want to get some extra character interactions, that's a great way without having to deal with the crowds in the parks.
And also, when staying at those Disney resorts, purchases that you make in the park can also be delivered to your room, which means more time for you in the parks and less time delivering your stuff to the hotel.
And here's a big reason people love the resorts is all the theming and experiences you get with those compared to other hotels that are going to be off property. You're talking about theming in the rooms and the lobbies, you're just going to get that complete Disney experience. Now, some of the drawbacks to staying on property to these Disneyland resort hotels, they are going to be a lot pricier than most of the other hotels in the area. I mean, you're getting a lot more out of that, but you do have to pay for it.
Yeah, and there's also no free breakfast. I mean, they do offer breakfast, but you do have to pay for it as a dining experience.
Another category of hotels are what's considered across-the-street hotels. At least that's what I like to call them. These
Yes.
are the hotels that are very close to the parks. They're literally across the street and within just a short walk from the main gate. Now, obviously, one of the big pros of these hotels is they're very, very close. It's not going to take you very long to get there, or really what's more important, to get back after you're heading home for the night.
Another thing about these across the street hotels, or good neighbor hotels is what they're called, is that they are way more affordable than you would see the Disney resort hotels. You're looking like thousands of dollars cheaper. It also depends on which hotel you're specifically staying at, but in the long haul, way cheaper.
Disney considers a lot of these close hotels to be good neighbor hotels, and what that means is they get unique offers. So there's special deals that you can actually book through those hotels exclusively that you can't get anywhere else.
Now, a drawback to these good neighbor hotels is it's a bit more walking than considered, than the resort hotels. And by a bit more walking, it really just depends on how close you are. So I can't promise you that it's almost no walking, but there will be walking involved.
And most of these hotels also don't have a free breakfast. There are some that offer it, but the closer hotels to Disneyland typically don't offer that for free. And the last category of hotels are the ones that are a bit further away from the park. Now, while these ones are going to require a much longer walking distance, they are going to be considerably cheaper. All right, that's typically what you're going to see when you're looking at hotels around Disneyland. The further away from the main park entrance you get, the cheaper the hotel options are.
Many of these hotels that are farther away from the parks actually do offer free breakfast, which is a plus, especially if you're not wanting to spend money on breakfast. That's a perk to think about when considering which hotel you want to stay at that is a little bit farther away than the parks.
Now, transportation at these hotels that are further away can be a pro or a con depending on where you're at. So one of the drawbacks is that the public transportation is not always the most reliable. You're talking about the buses or having to get an Uber. That can start to add up, and the schedules for those shuttles and buses are not always going to be right on time.
And it can be a pro. At the end of the night, when you're done walking around, it's so nice to come to that bus that's just going to deliver you to your hotel. It really did save me and my wife some ache in our feet at the end of the night.
Probably the biggest con to these hotels that are further away, and it's going to make the most sense, they require the most walking. If you're not going to be taking advantage of any of the public transportation, there's no shuttles available, you can be walking several miles before you even get to the park. Okay? Now again, this is something you really need to take into consideration because all that extra walking is going to add up over the course of your vacation. Now, if you have a rental car and you're just planning on going to the parking garages anyway, those further away hotels may not be as much of an issue for you. You can save some money just staying at the hotels that are further away. Even though you still have to pay for parking, it could end up balancing out for you over the course of that trip.
Now, which of these options is the best options? Well, that's up to you.
I mean, it really comes down to how much do you care for walking that extra distance, or are you going to be taking an Uber or a shuttle? These are all things that you really have to weigh. So hopefully with these options, you're going to be able to make a great informed decision on your next vacation.
That's right.
We really like to try to value cost versus comfort. That's the system I like to use. You take a look at the list of all the pros, you take a look at the list of all the cons, you just kind of weigh out to see what's going to be the best option for you. But let us know which hotels you guys have had experience with in the past. Put that in the comment section down below. And speaking of different hotel options, the best way that you guys need to be booking this is through our friends at Getaway Today. They're going to save you the absolute most money when it comes to choosing one of these hotels. So what you need to do is click on the link in the description below. That's going to take you right to their website where it's going to get you the best prices on your next vacation. So click that link,
Click it.
call 855-GETAWAY, tell them RTD Adventures sent you. And if you guys are looking for more tips in the meantime, click or tap the screen here. There's going to be a list of more tips and tricks to help you guys plan that perfect vacation. But until next time,
Thanks for watching.